Heyo, it's Nito, and here with a first deck profile video for our channel. This past weekend, October 1st, 2022, I played in the Top Cut Regional with Evan and Carson, and we all did fairly good. Carson got 99th place, Evan got 18th, and I got 17th. We unfortunately just got bubbled out of the top 16, so we did not get our Nats invite. But we had a really good time. I went 6-1-1. Evan also went 6-1-1, and I don't actually remember Carson's how he did. But I just wanted to go over the deck profile. I'll talk about like how and why I built this deck. I'll talk about my matchups, and I'll talk about like certain things I would change with the list. So I did play Ophanimon control. I'm not calling it Ophani loop because it's not a loop deck. It's just more of like a mid-range control. I've worked on this list for a while now. Like it was a couple weeks after BT9 came out that I started working on this list. I really like it. I was playing Ophanimon before this, and I like this. This feels a lot more. It has a lot more to do with like recovery, and actually like it has less to do with controlling the fields. Although we do have a lot of like really good security bombs. It has more to do with just staying at a high security count while pushing for damage, getting those 1 to 2 checks in at a time, and just being able to just like outlast your opponent card for card until you do finish the game. So let's get in with the deck profile. So to start with our rookies, we are playing 10. Now I do run a few more than most people do. I've been seeing like 8 is the range that they do, and that is one of the things I'll talk about when I go into what I would change. So for starters, we have 3 copies of Gazimon and 3 copies of Psychmon. I'll actually turn these around so they're easier for you guys to see. They're really good. I think floodgates are super important. They just help to stop certain mechanics that really abuse stuff. Although they were a lot better in previous sets, they aren't as good now. But stopping a Hammer Spark or an X antibody check in security is really nice. Stopping an opponent from playing a Death X-Mon is superb. For our last 4, I'm playing 4 copies of Candlemon. So for those of you who don't know, he's a yellow. He has an inherited effect of your turn once per turn. When you play another purple Digimon, you gain 1 memory. And this is the route I wanted to take with this Ophani list. Is a lot more about like abusing those like really good Gatomon, like the Gatomon and Black Gatomon, and really abusing those effects. This is really good with your Mastamon to help, like instead of her costing 4, you can make her cost 3 or even 2 with a Mako. Just really good. I think I might cut down on one of these, but we'll see. So yeah, we have 10 rookies, being 3 Gazi, 3 Psych, and 4 Candles. Next we have our champions, and this is pretty what you're gonna see with other videos. We have 4 Gatomon. Card's really good. It's, in my opinion, what makes the deck. Being able to get up to 2 cards with the on play effect, being able to go into your Angemons for 1 is insane. I don't actually get to use the inherited effect to DNA Digivolve because I'm not playing Mastamon, but it's still really good. It's what makes the deck. It's even not terrible. Some people don't like the 3 to Digivolve with the onto a level 3. I don't mind it a whole lot. There are some games where you open with Candle, Gato, pass your opponent 3. 3's not terrible right now. Yeah, so Gato's a 4 of, and then lastly we have 2 copies of Black Gato. This is this is your finisher. This is how you're going to win a lot of games. A lot of times you'll have an Ophani that swings and check 2s, and then she'll die, and then your Black Auto will check your 3rd. Also, the inherited retaliation is really important against Grandis. Because Grandis, once they get that first really big Grandis stack, it basically just sticks around to keep like killing stuff that's on the board, and a lot of your stuff needs to be on the board for its effects to go through. So having just an inherited effect of retaliation is really good. There's also some games where this will get checked in like security as like a last security, and I'll choose to play this over a Gatomon. Then next turn I'll just go into an Andromon and like swing into a stack and kill it. People forget about it, but retaliation is still really good. You can still get rid of a stack. So yeah, we have 6 champions. I used to have a couple Mekumons in here, but I ended up taking them out. I wasn't maxed out on options, and then I just figured that I like in terms of like what I would like to be checked, I would rather an option get checked over a Mekumon. But I do still see people playing Meku. I think Meku is a good choice. Just it wasn't like the choice I wanted for this deck. I might put it back in. Who knows? Next we have our ultimates, and we are going heavy into the Angelon package and the Fallen Angel package because I think it generates a whole lot of value. Being able to recover like 2-3 times in one turn when passing to your opponent is really good and can kind of get you out of sticky situations from your opponent has lethal on the board to, oh, now they're nowhere close to lethal, and you can worry about like dealing with threats. First off, we have 4 of the starter deck Angelmon. This is the Mastamon starter deck Angelmon. She has on play, you give one of your opponent's Digimon security attack -2 until the end of the turn, and then the inherited effect of your turn, when you have a Digimon, a purple Digimon in play, it gets security attack +1. She's the All-Star. She allows, when like Hellscythe gets checked in security, she can stop an Alphamon or a Greymon in their, or a War Greymon in their tracks and say no more checks. And this security plus is really important because a lot of times you spend a lot of time recovering and like answering threats that are on the board. So having security attack +1 is really important because it allows you to still be aggressive and, like I said, get those 1 to 2 checks in, because that's how this deck tends to play, is a lot of like recovery, swing once or twice, recover, answer the board, swing once or twice. So this is one of the big, really important pieces for closing out those games and getting those checks in. Next we have 2 of the other starter deck Angelmon. This one is not as good, but it still has a very important, when digivolving, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, recover 1. This is nice, obviously, with the Gatomon, because it is just a blanket, recover 1. And especially with your Angelmon X antibody, you can go down to like 3 security, and this puts you to 4, Anjo X to 5, Ophani to 6. And all of a sudden, where your opponent had hurt you twice and had gotten you down to like a middle security range, is now you are at more security than you started at the beginning of the game, and that's really good. And then to final out our ultimates, we have 4 copies of Anjo X antibody. This card is nuts. She is an 8K, which is really relevant because she does trade with a lot of stuff. She has, she digivolves on top of Angelmon for 0. When digivolving, she gives security attack -1, and then if you have an Angelmon in your sources or the X antibody option, and you're at 5 or less security, she recovers 1. This card's a powerhouse, especially with Gatomon, being able to go here for 1, here for free, all of a sudden, and like let's say you have a rookie in play, all of a sudden this is an 8K that checks 2, and you recovered 1, and you gave something security attack -1, so it's not going to hurt you the next turn. Yeah, Anjo X is an absolute beast. I'm not playing any Lady Devimons, although I have thought about it. I used to play a single copy of Neo Devimon, and I might entertain the idea of putting it back in. I took it out for this event, which was fine because I ended up not needing it. But I might entertain the idea of putting it back in. But especially with having the 6 Andromons, I wanted it maxed out on the Andro X antibodies, just so I can guarantee I have that. Just this whole package is really good. It generates a whole lot of value. It's like the bread and butter of what the deck is. Moving on to our megas, fairly simple. We have 4 copies of Ophanimon. This card's killer. I never actually have seen anybody use the Digivolve for 2 onto Ophanimon. And look at that alternate art. So cool. But yeah, if you have a purple in your sources, she pops to level 4 or lower, which is really important. There's a ton of floodgates and there's a ton of stuff in the format that is actually level 4 or lower that this eats. And then if you have a yellow in your sources, recover 1. And then on deletion, she plays a level 4 or lower purple yellow Digimon from your trash without paying this memory cost. This card's awesome. One of the reasons why I started working on this deck was when I was playing Mastamon, and I wanted to up my Ophani count from like 1 or 2 to 2 to 3, because I was like, it never hurts to go into Ophanimon. It's 4 to Digivolve isn't bad, especially with your Karis. You can end up doing it for like 3 or 2. This card is just like all around really good. And it's going to see play for a long time. And you're on play. Where the loop comes in is like you play this, you get your swings in and stuff, and then it dies and you set up and you play Gatomon from your trash and like search for pieces to set up for another one again. That is where like the loop part of it that people call it come from. I do not buy into it. It's not Ophani loop. And then, so with our 4 copies of Ophani, then we just have 1 copy of OG Mastamon. Those of you who don't know what she does, when Digivolving, she trashes 1 card from the top of both players' security, and then she plays a level 4 purple Digimon, a level 4 or lower purple Digimon from your trash without paying its memory cost. This card's actually really good, and it always felt good to go into. With your Meikus and your Candlemons, you could end up going into her for like 1, which felt super good. Like there were times when I would have a stack that was Candlemon, Gatomon. You would Digivolve into Andromon for 1. You go into X Antibody for free, get your recovery. You would go into Mastamon, trash a security, and play your Rush Black Gato. You would swing, check 2, and then Black Gato swung for game. There was many a times during this tournament where my opponent would be at 3 security, and you would just kill them on the spot, and that's really good. Yeah, the Mastamon is really good. I never hated going into it. There were the other level 6s that I was playing at the time was the yellow Wargreymon. But I just ended up cutting it. I just liked these 5, and you see plenty of them. I would like to raise the count up to 6, but the 5 is plenty. You still see a ton of them. And then we are playing 2 level 7s, and that is 2 Death X's. This card's insane. Nothing really I have to say about it. What is better than playing this card for cheap is Digivolving this card, because it gets around their floodgates, and a lot of people don't see it coming. And you'll have like an Ophani stack, and they're like, oh cool, I'll go wide here. And then you just like Digivolve on top of your Ophani. And then because Death X is purple, you still keep your security attack +1 from the Andromon. And it's just, this card's ridiculous. If you have it, play it. This card is good enough that I truly think you could throw 1 to 2 of these in literally any single deck, because card is just awesome, and it's going to stay awesome, and it's going to get really good next set with X-Cross. And then, so because we are in purple yellow, obviously we're going to have security bombs. That's like purple yellow's whole thing. There's nothing too crazy about them. They're pretty. They're just good. We got 4 copies of Chaos Degrade, 4 copies of Flame Hellscythe, and these are the 4-ofs. These are the cards you want to see the most. I am playing purple eggs, and then I do have yellow rookies, or yellow rookies and purple rookies. So there are times where, like, let's say I get a Meku out, or if I have like a Psychmon on the field, and then I'll hatch and go into Candlemon. That is one of the reasons why I am playing the Candlemon, is it allows you to like actually like use these early without having too big of a setup. They're just Chaos Degrade's the best removal spell, like just the best single removal spell in the game right now. There's not much you can get around it. Hellscythe is really good. I thought about playing a one of Magna Angemon to have that, just that extra like -6 and recover 1, but you play your most of the time the targets for Flame Hellscythe are going to be the Angemon to give security attack -2 and to like stop something from killing you, the Black Gato or the Gatomon to help set up for big turns next turn, and then funny enough, what actually is really important is sometimes you will choose to play a Psychmon if your opponent is making it very clear that they have a Death X-Mon in hand that they're going to use to kind of mess up your field a bit. There are a lot of times where you can just like, they hit a Hellscythe and you're like, cool, Psychmon. Or let's say they have a memory boost, they haven't popped yet, you can go, cool, Gazimon. And like, people want to think about like Flame Hellscythe as like, oh, this has to play level 5 or level 4. It can play a rookie. There are, like, the floodgates are really good, and you can have turns where your opponent would like continue to go off and potentially win, and then you shut them down. So yeah, these are the 4-ofs. They're really good. Next to the more tech cards, one of my personal favorites is Underworld's Call. It's a card that came out for BT6. For those of you who don't know, it's a 4-cost purple option. It checks in security. When you trash this card from your hand, you draw a card, and it plays a level 4 or lower purple Digimon from your trash without paying its memory cost. My variant. Oh, and then we have one Calling from Darkness, just to help like keep your pieces and stuff. Underworld's Call is really important, and what makes my list a little different is I was really focusing on like abusing Black Gatomon and abusing your like playing from trash effects, with a, and again where the Candlemon comes into effect is you can have turns where you like play Black Gato from trash for like 2, like if you have a Candlemon and a Mekomon on the field, you could just like play Black Gato from trash and get those extra swings in. Most of my like how I won games came from getting my swings in with my level 6s and my level 5s, and then Underworld's, once they get to 0, Underworld's Call, play Black Gato from trash, and swing for game. Because this does cost 4. And with my rookies, a lot of times, like let's say I had a Black Gato in hand, or like let's say I had a Gatomon in hand, and it was looking like my best play of turn was to play it, because you still get your own play effects. And then it was looking like my best move for that turn was to just play the Gatomon from my, play the Gatomon and find my pieces. There'd be a lot of times I'll swing, pitch the Gatomon, and then play it with Underworld's Call, because I'm playing it for 1 cheaper. And then like my Mako will gain me a memory, or the Candlemon will gain me a memory. This card's really good, and it still plays in security, so you still get your level 4s or lower. Yeah, this card really helps like set up to like get those kills and to finish the game off. And that's why you'll have seen like certain like numbers and stuff that I play throughout the list. But Underworld's Call is one of the big reasons why, because I think that card's really good. Moving on to our tamers, we have 2 copies of Kari 1 copy of TK. I thought about going 3 Kari. I don't want to go to 2 TK because I have too many just purple cards. I like the 1 TK. It's nice to every once in a while play it and like find the extra Ophanimon X antibody that you don't have in your hand, or to like find an extra Ophanimon because you only have seen one of them. The Karis are really important because they let you like still be at your turn. You can go into like Godamon can go into Ophanimon for 1, recover 1, and then the Kari put you back up to 3. That's really good. Yeah, Kari is just really nice because it allows you to like make your plays while still keeping it your turn. As you know, Ophanimon is afforded Digivolve, so Kari can make that make her Digivolve for 3 or for 2, and that can help just like keep your turn, because that's one of the things, like you want to be able to still have it be your turn so you can still like push for game and stuff. And then I am playing 3 copies of Mako. Mako's really good. She fills your trash, she finds cards, and then she allows you, when you play your level 4s, you get extra memory off it. There's many games I've won off of just like the surprise, like they'll check a Hell Scythe, I'll gain 2 memory, swing it over to my turn. She's really good. I have thought about playing like a purple memory boost or yellow, or I'd probably play a yellow memory boost. I thought about playing yellow memory boost in like 1 or 2 in the spot of her, but Mako is just really good and she generates too much value to not play her. Although she is definitely like, if you don't play her within the first couple turns, you probably won't play her from hand, because she is like, she doesn't do enough just like playing her. Although one of the things that I probably should be doing is playing her from hand and being able to just like find peas and stuff. She's a really good tamer. And then I know people normally do their eggs first. I forgot about them. I'll do them right here. We have 4 copies of Naramon. I'm not actually playing Demi Maramon. I like Naramon a lot. That draw 1, trash 1 when attacking is really nice. It allows early game for you to cycle and to get cards into your trash that are like really important. Like your black Godamon is a must. Maybe getting a Godamon or 2 in there is a good. One of the things that's really nice with like my list is with Underworld's Call. Let's say you like have both of these in your hands and you really just need like an Ophanimon. You can swing and trash this, and then when you trash this, you draw an extra card. So it's just really good for getting your cycles and getting your stuff into your hand. And then my 5th egg is a copy of Jaomon. For those of you who don't know, Jaomon has, when there are 10 or more cards in your trash, this Digimon gains retaliation. This egg is a beast. I cannot begin to count the number of games where I have like had a like Gazimon in the back on top of this egg, and my opponent just like has forgot about it or hasn't acknowledged it, because this is a purple egg that is ran in a lot of purple decks right now. And like they'll have like an Alphamon stack that is suspended, that doesn't have any protection, and then you're like, cool, I'll crash my rookie into it and delete it, and then they're like, oh shoot. Or they're like, if you're playing against Grandis, you can eat the Grandis with like a rookie. Being able to trade a rookie into these like really big stacks is huge. I am a firm Jaomon believer. This egg from all the way back in BT4 is awesome. Puts in a ton of work. It is 10 cards, so this is that you don't ever want to see this egg first. You want to see this egg as like your 3rd or 4th egg, if you had it your way. But yeah, Jaomon is awesome. So yeah, I went 6-1-1. First round I played against Leomon. Unfortunately for Leomon is like really centered around like this, like these level 4s, and Ophanimon pops level 4s. So and with like Godamons and stuff, you can keep it to where they don't gain the memory from their on deletion and stuff. Round 2 was my only loss. It was against a security control player. It was actually the security control player who got 2nd in the event, so congrats to him. This deck does have a really hard time against security control. I don't think or currently with my list, I don't think it is a matchup that you can win. So that is something you have to know going into it. You can't like out recover them. They have more options. They can stall you out to deck out. The games almost always go to deck out. They're just aggressive enough that you have to use your recovery, which takes away from your deck, which can lead to, you know, more deck out. Yeah, currently I don't think you can beat security control with this list. And that's okay. It's okay to have like, you know, 1 or 2 matchups that are just like, this is a really hard matchup. I think if I added more cards to deal with security control, it might be better suited for it. Something you can do is with Chaos Degrade, I try and hit, if I know I'm playing in security control, I try to take the game much slower, not draw as much, and I try to hit the Avenge Kidmon with Chaos Degrade and put it to the bottom of security and leave it there. I had a game against a security control player where I got like both of his Avenge Kidmons on the bottom of his security stack and just like were like, stay there, do not move. I think that's one of the ways you're gonna have to beat security control, is like take care of the Avenge Kids and then stall them out. But yeah, security was really hard. Round 3, I played against a Wargamon. Wargamon's really hard, but you can just recover a lot, and every time they make big swings, you can kill their stack and then recover a whole bunch. I had the Wargamon player I was playing against, 2 times he got the don't check options Wargamon, and then it didn't have any boosts, and it would like hit an Ophanimon or a Death X and security, which was definitely rough for him. Yeah, Wargrey, you just need to recover a lot, and I think then I played against Commandramon. Commandramon's a really fun matchup. It's definitely suited in your favor. They lose their bodies when they are swinging into your security, 9 times out of 10. And then you can just keep recovering and swing. A Commandramon player with a well-timed Congo can beat you, but for the most part, you just keep answering threats, get your 2 checks in. Commandramon doesn't have a ton of like, they're probably playing security bombs like Ultimate Flare or Iron Fist and Onslaught. Ultimate Flare is nice because a lot of times your stack is just Black Gatomon and then all the way up, so they just put you back down to to Gatomon, and then you do your stuff all over again. And you also play Death X. 2 Death X's kind of seals the deal for Commandra. There's not much they can do with that, besides IFO. Keep your Gazimons and Psychmons on the field, because Dark Dramon gains memory when it's played. So yeah, keep the Gazimon on the field, and you'll be fine. I played against a Beostar player. Again, you can just out recover, so it's just a game of get a chip or 2 in, and then keep a Psychmon on the field the whole game, and you kind of win. And then I played against Black Wargreymon. Is like really good at being able to like push for like wild damage out of nowhere. One of the big things to help with Black Wargreymon is get a Death X Mon early. They don't actually have a ton of ways to remove Death X Mon because they don't run any removal, so they have to swing into it with a stack that has enough like DP boost. And if they're swinging into your stuff, they're not checking security, and then you can still push and do stuff. So jam a Death X out early, even if it's putting your opponent to 5 or 8 or 10 even. That Death X is staying around for at least a solid 3-4 turns, and that's a 15k beater. That's just gonna keep wiping the field. And then I played against a different deck every round, which was super cool. And then I played in round 7, I played against a Grandis Quagamon. Grandis is still really good. I recognize it's kind of one of the OTK decks that like fell out of favor this format, compared to Melga, who just does what Grandis does but better. But Grandis is still really good. You have a lot of removal that is like really good to spot it. Your retaliation, like your Black Gatomon and your Jamon, comes into play a lot. And then round 8 is I played against Melga, and that was my tie. I had a loss round 2, and a tie in round 8. Melga is really good. It's one of the matchups that I think is hard for this deck. I think Melga can just do a lot with the memory that you give them, and a lot of your removal like just isn't enough. Like their Wargarurumon, the one that swings and then unsuspends, the first one that they get before the promo and the X Anybody, is normally at like 7 or 8k, so your minus 6k is like just too small to kill it. Melga's hard. You just have to keep recovering. One thing that I did differently this time that helped me a lot, I think, with Melga was don't be scared to swing with your Andromon X Anybody, especially if you have the Andromon underneath her that gives her Scary Attack +1. Like let's say you have a rookie on the field, it'd probably be a Gazi. Like let's say you have a rookie in the field and you get into one of these stacks and you're like worried about, oh, I went into Andromon, I went into Andro X and recovered one, and then I want to go into Ophanimon and recover another. Before you do, get those 2 checks in. Because 8k is a pretty big threshold. You beat over everything in Melga besides their the Wargarumon X Anybody and the level 6s. And if they're playing Blitz on me, it's level 7. But this guy just eats insecurity. So yeah, definitely that's how you need to stay, because you have to keep tempo in Warguru, so against Melga. So use Andro X. She's an 8k. She will survive, I promise. Yeah, that's the deck profile. Thanks for watching. Click the like, subscribe, and we will try to get Evan on here to do his profile, because he also went 6-1-1 and he was playing Armor Rush, and his Armor Rush is really cool. So thanks for watching.